All right. Let's start talking about some motivation. Let's talk about some meditation. Let's talk about some inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Um, this last week has been quite the experience. It has tested me to ask me, what do I value? What do I look inwards? What gives the ability for you to be you? And the last few weeks I've been spending time evaluating and sitting on an inwards journey, and seeking out after who I am inside. Hey Marco, how you doing? Um, and seeking out the peace in an internal journey, right? So when we observe, we hit the highest level of intelligence. And when we start utilizing that part of who we are inside, we start to recognize our own challenges and, what we bring to the table to our life. And how are we utilizing it? You see, when you're going through challenges, when you're put in a place where you're being analyzed, a lot of the times people, they don't recognize their ability. They start to seek out after things that are not them. And when people are looking for a portion of what's going on inside of who they are, that's where they start asking themselves the questions like my mantra: is what I'm doing today, is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? Because if it's not one of the three, I don't want it. And so every single day, I strive to ask myself this question, to seek out after positivity, to use the ability of what's going on inside. You see, when you start to put your mentality as your being, you see a lot of people out there are seeking out after things that are not them. And a lot of times it's funny because a lot of people say, well, what are those people? And the answer to that question is, those people are people who are not understanding the process of being yourself, not understanding the ability to utilize your challenges, to utilize the universe. See, this beautiful universe that we have, it's out there for us to utilize. It's out there for us to use our mentality and use our ability. And a lot of the times what happens is we disable our own minds. You see, the highest level of intelligence is observation. So if you can yet but take a little bit of time each day and observe yourself, then you'll start to study your challenges, you'll start to study your being, you'll start to find that the person that you are inside matters the most. And when we start to seek out after that, we start to find the things that start to fit not just other people, but our own needs, our own mentality, our own being. And when we're in a place where we're seeking out that, and when we're around others that are vibrating in the same mentality, it starts to come down to ability. And so, what are the skills, the abilities, the mentalities that you guys have out there? See, a lot of the challenge that we face is to be ourselves. A lot of the time, the challenges that we're going to go through are what's going on inside of you. What are you facing off against today that makes you who you are? And so, when you seek out yourself, when you seek out that person who you believe within yourself, within your being, that you are, that's when you start to have universal wealth. When the people that are meant to be in your life start heading in your direction. And so a lot of times we're seeking out direction outwards instead of who we are on the inside and what we provide to other people. So when you start to look from your inwards journey, your vibration, your energy, your mentality starts to become a part of who you are, you know, and when you are going through challenge, a lot of the times we forget about the vibration. We forget about our own ability and our own mentality. And so sometimes when we don't see a way, when we're face down in a situation, when a challenge is coming against us, when an ability to be who we are inside is being tested, what do you believe about yourself comes down to how well you can focus, how well you can use your ability within yourself. And you see, what we are made of comes from our mentality. And what you believe about yourself comes from your mentality. So what matters the most is what you believe about yourself. Okay? And when you seek out that person within who you are, you start to find that these are the things that make me who I am. And when you start to seek out after people that embrace you for who you are, your vibration increases. Often people say, that's not the right position for me. That's not the right environment. So what is that then that is the right environment? And that environment is what goes on inside of ourselves. That environment is what we vibrate outwards. See, a lot of times we are seeking out places outside of who we are for the focus that we already have within ourselves. And so when you start to focus towards positivity, it's understanding the process of becoming positive. It's allowing the process of negative things to leave your life on their own because you're so focused into positivity that you allow the things that are positive to fill your life. And so when we start to understand our own life journey, when we start to understand the being that we are inside, the present moment, and we start to become centered within ourselves, within our understanding of our own life journey, then we start to open up inside. You know, a lot of people start to ask you the question, you've changed. See, when you start to focus to the point where you're truly starting to become a motivation, when you're focusing on that level where the universe starts to utilize you as a yield, not just to yourself, but others. When you start to utilize the ability, and one of the things that's very important to me is to become disciplined to the point of inspiration. Okay? So when we're talking about becoming focused, when we're talking about utilizing that, you know, what is your mastery? What is it that you utilize that brings out the motivation within you? And what do I mean? What brings out the level of focus that sets you aside from other people? What is it that sets you aside that gives you the ability to use your mentality in such a way that you are who you are inside? And so a lot of times we seek out after things that aren't bringing us closer in that direction. And a lot of people out there say that you need a roadmap to life. And it is absolutely true that you can focus to that point where you start to achieve your dreams. And one of the things that happened just recently was that mentality was tested. And how was that mentality tested? You know, a couple of people that I was working with, they are seeking out a direction. And during the time of seeking out the direction, they were afraid. And I explained that, you know what moves fear out of the way? It's massive focus. And when we focus to that level where we are vibrating in a positive way, when we focus to that level where what we have inside is who we are, when that process of who you are inside starts to open you up to your ability, to your mentality, to your vibration, you start to overcome challenge with observation. And when you start to understand yourself and you start to use your ability and you start to use your strengths and you start to use your mentality, it doesn't mean that challenge isn't going to come your way. It means that when the challenges come your way, your mentality is vibrating in such a way that the ability within yourself gives you the ability to overcome your challenges. You see, what we believe about ourselves ultimately becomes our vibration. So when we are unshakable, it means to focus to that point where you're allowing the process to happen. You're allowing the ability within yourself to utilize your being. And it's amazing how I see people from here to India to all parts of the world utilizing mentality. And I have a website, a WordPress, where I can definitely see the people that are communicating. You know, like I could see who is viewing motivation, meditation, and inspiration. And in the process of seeing that, it inspires me. You know, I see people from here to places around the world that are affected because of the day that I decided that I was going to wake up and ask myself this question every day. You know, what type of questions do you guys ask yourself? What is it that you're looking for? And what is it that you dream that the things that you want to achieve in your life are? You know? And how are you going after that? What is it that brings you past the challenge? You see, I have hit points where everything was working against me and I had to look inwards. I've hit places on the internal journey where the vibration was the only thing that kept me alive. And in that process of finding yourself, you start to recognize that self-care is what truly matters. Allowing people to be around you that are going to bring that place of mentality out of you. And when you start to seek out after your vibration, your focus, your ability starts to open up. And the things that aren't meant for you that's when they start to move out of the way. And it's not just going to happen overnight, okay? It's not something that you wake up tomorrow and it resolves itself. It takes the process of positivity. Notice it's not just positive thinking. It's understanding the process of being who you are. You know, what is your dreams? What are your goals? Are you in the position that you want to be? Are you with the people that you seek to be a part of your journey? And how are you utilizing your gifts, your talents, and your abilities in a way that your vibration matters? And a lot of times people are too afraid to recognize what I'm talking about. You know, they feel like they will lose everything that they have if they focus to this level. However, when you do focus to this level, you start to believe in yourself. You start to believe in your dreams. You start to manifest from within who you are. And so when you start manifesting your path, when you start manifesting your journey, when you start to believe that you have what it takes within yourself, that's when the universe has the ability to utilize you as a gift. And I believe that all of you out there are gifts. All of you have talents. It's just finding the place to focus to where you start utilizing those gifts, where you start utilizing those talents. And your energy inside definitely matters. And so when you start to enjoy your path, it ultimately starts inside of yourself. It starts with you believing in you. And I've had to sit down and analyze and to study the energy. After all, I have been doing energy work for about 8 years. Started when I was 27. Next week I turned 36. And so I've been tested multiple times to understand how energy works, to understand the past, to understand the present and the future. And so they each individually hold place inside of you. You are ultimately your study. So if you could spend the time to write things down, to listen to things that are bringing you towards positivity, and to seek out after things that are going to help you to grow, that are going to help you to expand your mind, that are going to move you into a direction where your focus is in the direction which you're headed, then your ability to grow becomes. And the thing that a lot of people face off against is the ability to open their mind. When we start to open up our mind, it doesn't start with anything but positivity, by taking step after step, by utilizing the ability within. And so when you start to believe that you can find the things that uplift your vibration, that you can seek out after the part within who you are that uplifts other people because you came along. See, when the universe utilizes you, it will help out others. When you give more than you receive, this is known as the law of riches. When you truly know that you're in the law of riches is when the universe, not a singular person, yields back. When the universe utilizes you. And what it takes is focusing to that point where you use your gifts, you use your talents, you start to use your ability, that others might recognize that reflection. They might recognize that ability within yourself, that you are truly gifted within your mentality. And when I sat down and I got to study others, I got to see how others reacted, what gifts, what talents, what abilities, I started to recognize that a part of the vibration comes from an inwards journey. Now, one of the things that I absolutely enjoy is self-care. I'm sitting here with a shake on my desk. I've been doing shakes for years. The people that are a part of my life have started to do that themselves. They've started to see that their mentality is worth it, that their ability within who they are matters. And it's important that we see that and that we direct our minds in a positive way. What comes from within vibrates outwards. And so your gifts, your talents, and your abilities make you who you are. That's the thing that I've learned the most in the last few weeks. And so how can we start to build a community where positive thinking becomes a reflection? And so that's where motivation comes in. What is it that you guys have out there? And I'm going to start to need your guys' to share your stories, to share your abilities, to start to connect. I put donations out there if you guys want to put towards my work. But what matters is what you believe about yourself. See, when you focus to the point where you're headed in the direction that you are utilizing your ability, then you have an able mentality. When you disable your mind, you allow negativity to take process. All it takes is turning it around. It takes the ability to focus, to write things down, to manifest what's going on inside, to vibrate, to listen to things and not allow things into your vibration that are not going to bring you in a positive direction. And it's amazing that the people that I have around me, they remind me of this. Because like anybody else out there, I'm a human being. It's important to become centered within ourselves to understand that you want people around you that are going to push you to become your best self. And when you start to become that, when you start to believe within you that you have that ability, you will start to see others who believe in themselves there for you. And when we do this together, when we utilize what we have inside together, I know that there is a great share of universal wealth in a place of motivation, a place of ability to open up our minds, to open up our beings, that our connection, that our group motivation, meditation, and inspiration can inspire, which is disciplines, reflection, each other. So how can we focus in a direction where the things that aren't meant for us to move out of the way? How can we take the challenges that we have and start moving towards a positive direction? How can we turn the sails in a way in which the breeze starts blowing in our direction? And that starts with focus. So when you champion focus, when you champion the ability inside of yourself to use your gifts, you will start to believe that you have what it takes. When we start to focus to the point where when we're doing something, it has a purpose. When we're doing something, it has an ability. See, we only have so much time in our day. We only have so much time in our space within ourselves and within our vibration. And there's only 24 hours in a day. How well do you focus with that time that you have? How well do you use your process in a positive direction? And those are some of the questions that I ask myself on a daily basis. So I want to go ahead and share a quote with you guys here that I wrote a while back. I was just recently challenged with a question that I was asked. What is your mission statement? What is it that you want to bring? What is it that you offer to other people and to our team? And when you're building your mentality, you're going to go through challenges in life. You're going to have things that are going to work for you, and you're going to have things that work against you. And at a certain time, I had to come up with what I believe. And what made me recognize that what sets me aside is the thing that sets me aside is knowing fear can't stop me from elevating to a level where focus and knowledge is where all failures bring me closer to motivation, the ability to focus to the point where I can be who I am inside. You can't stop because I have the discipline to continue past the point of emotion, to use the knowledge inside like a book, so torn down where you master every page, chapter to the point of discipline. So are we focusing to that level? Are we utilizing our gifts? Are we utilizing our challenges? Are we utilizing who we are on the inside? And when we focus towards that place where the only things that are coming close to us is that, then we are moving towards our connection with our purpose. A lot of people lose track of their own past journey in seeking out universal wealth. That's not how it starts. The way universal wealth starts is by first seeking out yourself and then allowing the path and your life's journey to open up for you, so that your story is the thing that's important, that your ability within who you are is to believe in you. And I haven't spent as much time putting out videos lately. I've been spending a lot of time focused on the study of yourself. And there is great mass inside of understanding your own life journey and understanding how energy flows, how what you're using inside of yourself has a place. And when you're utilizing that place that you have inside, you start to focus past your challenges. And see, a lot of times we feel that we don't have the ability. Sometimes we feel inferior to our own mentality. And when we start moving towards who we are inside, it starts to reinforce us that our own life path and our own story is worth it. So let's go ahead and start talking about why energy is important. A lot of the times when we're getting up in the morning, the first thing that we feel is our energy. The first thing that we feel is our vibration, is the things that we have around us, the cleanliness, the mentality, and the ability within ourselves to utilize our gifts, our talents, and what we're seeking out after on a daily basis. And when we seek out after what we're waking up to do on a daily, we start to find ourselves in a different kind of place. We find ourselves in a place where we start to have a lot of energy. We start to have a reason to live. And so when you start to find what you have inside, when you start to live for you, when you start to understand self-care, when you start to understand this person that you are, this person that you have become, this person that you want to work on, that's what matters. And this is why meditation matters. Because meditation is a mastery of knowledge. It's a mastery of understanding yourself, understanding your being. And when you are going through challenges and you utilize the talents that you have, where your knowledge starts to open up, where your centering of your human being starts to open up. This place is meditation. When your breath is connected with your knowledge, where you are the classroom, where you are observing, understanding the process of knowledge, the process of what it takes to be yourself. And when energy starts to become understood, they call you a light worker. Because when you start to understand that vibration and light are of one, that what we are and what we become comes from the knowledge that we already have within ourselves, that we absorb through the process of being who you are, that what we are utilizing is akashi, which is knowledge. In the world of meditation, in the world of understanding universal energy, utilizing Newton's third law, for each action there's an equal and opposite reaction, we start to recognize positive and negative forces in the universe. And so when you start to recognize your vibration, when you start to recognize that part of yourself, you start to recognize and understand you, then energy and light start to become important. The way that you are, the things that you have around you, the colors, the abilities that you utilize on a daily basis. And so how do we use our mentality in a way to where we can study ourselves is to spend time on ourselves, spend time on our gifts. You know, there are people out there who have gifts in singing. There are people out there who have gifts in writing, speaking, and utilizing those different parts of their study to manifest what comes from within. So, are we utilizing this life's path? Are we utilizing this life's journey. And sometimes it takes an ability to sit down and study yourself to do so. And this place of knowledge that already exists within yourself is called meditation. That might be in writing, that might be in your professions. When you utilize this part of your being to where your whole being is connected, where you understand your knowledge within and the root of all parts of who you are, then you start to utilize meditation. And so there's a lot of people that think that meditation is just sitting down with your eyes closed in lotus position. However, there is so many different forms of meditation when being connected with knowledge with the inwards journey. So when you understand your own life's path, past the point where love is just a reflection of the knowledge of the self-care within yourself, the seed within yourself starts to open up your whole being. And that connection with your whole being is where light starts to become important. The source of the energy and the places within yourself that you're utilizing. So when you utilize those parts of yourself, when you start to get to know yourself, because you spend time studying yourself, we call this meditation. And if you ask yourself that same question, what do I put my energy into? How do I utilize it to where my whole being is part of this? Then you start to see where your meditation is. See, a lot of people don't recognize that. They don't understand the process of being yourself. And it's a joy when I see people come and ask me to mentor, to guide, to help them to see themselves grow. Because one of the biggest joys that I have is to watch people grow. To enjoy being not only yourself, but your life path. Meditation is understanding knowledge. It's finding an understanding of why somebody thinks the way they do. Understanding why you think the way you do. Understanding the path that you're on, the journey that you're facing, and how you can utilize your gifts, your talents, and your abilities on this life's journey. And I know that sometimes I cut through the universe. I know that sometimes people are going to say, this guy cuts deep. And I cut as deep as to go inwards. I cut as deep as to listen to things like Eric Thomas. If you want it as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. That is Eric Thomas's quote. I took that in the literal terms. I pushed the limitations that Asana has. You know, the people that have seen it, I don't have to say it. They know it. Finding that place of vibration where you are, where your gifts, your talents, your abilities are being utilized on an energetic level is you. The deep source which drives you. The deep ability to understand yourself. See, a lot of people from here to India, they ask, how can this guy teach within? And the thing is, the only thing that we can teach is how to teach ourselves, how to understand ourselves. The only thing that we can understand is our own life journey. Bruce Lee was once asked a question. The question Bruce Lee was asked was, what does martial arts mean to Bruce Lee? And I want us to think about this for a second. The thing that Bruce Lee stated was, ultimately, martial arts is understanding oneself in a combative form. We go through a life journey trying to seek out that, understanding ourselves on this life path. When we can see that with observation, then we understand this journey. The understanding from a third party, another question Bruce Lee was asked. Bruce Lee, he stated, when he fights, he views it from a third party. Explaining that being a part of your life journey is to observe it. What do you believe about yourself? Do you believe that your ability is worth it? That your mentality is worth it? That your vibration is worth it? And so when we seek this being to become a purpose, when we seek this human being to be our life path journey, when we spend time, which within the last 8 years I have spent more than 10,000 hours doing meditation. If you have a question, ask yourself that internal journey where your mastery lies. What does it mean to be yourself? What do you want to become? What do you want to manifest? When you start to recognize your journey, you start to see yourself in a different light. You start to see yourself in a way that other people start to recognize you. I have faced off against things that have tested that internal being. They have tested what it means to be me. What I have found is that this internal path is to find positivity in connection with the Most High, the relationship with the universe created by the Most High. And so, when we seek out that relationship where we are a part of this life path, when we start to accept this life path, when we start to utilize this life path, you start to see yourself as a part of your journey. And that's what's meant to happen along this path. It's meant for you to understand that you're worth it. That what you have inside is amazing. That your knowledge is sufficient for your life path. To understand how to utilize your life path. To how to utilize the ability within. what does knowledge mean to you? If you had all knowledge, how would you utilize it? What would you utilize the knowledge in a single craft? If you were the best at the things that you seek out after, what would you do with it? How would you utilize it? Would you use it to open up other people? Would you use that knowledge to teach? Would you use that knowledge to share with other people? Would you use that knowledge to help others grow? And that is what a teacher is. Someone who spent that time on their internal journey. What is your life journey? Is the question. And I came across a place of focus. A place called breath work. Inner field trips. Inner guidance. Where light and energy are one and the same. Where knowledge and healing come from within. Where mastery is to go beyond the challenges, to go to an inwards path, to go to the part of the journey where we cut the universe like a knife. See, this is what this channel is about. It's about believing in yourself. Self-care is knowledge. Knowing oneself becomes understanding. Understanding with observation becomes our life path. Utilizing our life path is what this journey is about. Utilizing our gifts, our talents, seeing the gifts and talents within ourselves, within our being, within our life's journey. There'll be times along your life where your knowledge will be needed. There'll be times along your life where you will seek out what already exists within you. You will be asked, how can you do it? How can you achieve it? How can you utilize it? And it's when you connect your breath, your being, your focus, and you put your whole self into it. Another Bruce Lee quote. That you will see your gifts open up. It's only when your gifts start to become utilized that you start to believe in yourself. It's only when your knowledge and your focus is being used that you start to believe that you're worth it. It's only when you utilize that part of your being where other people see you for you that the challenges finding your discipline. When focus and knowledge are centered in your field trip, yourself, when your focus and your knowledge connect, that connection is called discipline. When knowledge and focus are vibrating in that way, where you're living by the law of riches, where what you offer is greater than what you receive, the universe yields wealth. The universe yields ability. The universe yields from within your mentality. Let me say that again. When you utilize your focus, your knowledge, and it truly centers it within yourself, The universe utilizes you as a gift. When it utilizes you as a gift, the universe yields wealth. When we share that wealth with others, when we use that wealth within ourselves, then we truly start to become universally wealthy. When we start to utilize the wealth within ourselves to the point where the universe gives you more than what you have. The more you give of your gifts, your talents, your abilities, the more the universe has the ability to utilize you. Albert Einstein stated a quote, "Become friends with the universe." So if you can start to understand this from a universal aspect of becoming friends with this great universe that we live in, with the great process of being you, with the great process of your path, with the great process of your journey, there is great wealth to be had. So much that if you give, you shall receive. Biblical. So allow the universe to do that for you. Allow the universe to have that place where you understand your process. One quote Yogi Bhajan gave: "There is people who love God, and there are people that are loved by God. Which do you want to be?" If you seek after knowledge from within and you share, if you uplift other people along their life path journey, if you're out there wanting to do it together, this channel is for you. That question is, what I'm doing today, is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? Is about achieving understanding of universal wealth. What is your purpose? When you seek out after your gifts and you help out other people along their life path, you will understand your journey. When you seek out after not being selfish but selfless, when you seek out after the ability within to find oneself, for those people around you to be themselves, to be able to share their life path, to share their life journey, to share their life purpose with you, then your cup flows over. When you have that much, that you have more than enough coming towards you, who will you help? How will you help others? Will you utilize your ability to uplift other people? And I've asked myself this question: is what I'm doing today, is it a reflection of the discipline to the point where it inspires other people? And this is why I ask this question every day. Is what I'm doing today focusing to the point where the universe is turning those sails in my direction, that I might be going down the path that the Most High sent me to follow? And you see, a lot of people forget about their connection with the universe, with golden light, with red, green, purple, blue, and white light energy. When you wake up in the morning, what is your purpose? Seek out after that part inside of yourself, and you will find your life's journey. What a blessing it is that we're here, that I have the ability to communicate, that I have the ability to utilize these platforms like Facebook, like Anchor, like YouTube. My website is motivation, meditation, inspiration. Yoga. The yoke that holds ourselves together is that we are all connected when we are disciplined to the point where the vibration uplifts each other. When we start to come together, we start to use our gifts, our talents, our abilities to the point of discipline. Share your disciplines. Share your abilities. I could have kept this to myself. I could have stayed inwards on this. And then I started to see those people as I was out driving. 5 years I did Uber. It's something that I've enjoyed. Communicating with people, starting to understand the mentality. What it means to be yourself. Understand that when you embrace others, the universe has the ability to utilize you. And in that part of your journey, you have a great path. Share that path with those that are coming through it. Uplift that. Bring your wind to the point where it lightens other people's loads, where it uplifts beyond challenge, where it uplifts within yourself. What does it mean to be who you are within? What does it mean to manifest your being? What does it mean to manifest your focus past challenge? I have focused to that point of purpose where I understand that who we are inside is discipline. That a human being has a reason in the word present. That your past and your future have purpose. That knowledge within yourself is discipline. That connection of focus and knowledge that holds two together is you. Do you see your own gifts? Sit down with your own study, with your own mastery, with your own being, to focus past the challenges that you face with a place of inspiration. And there are people out there that you can seek out after that are going to inspire you. There are people out there that are going to utilize their path to assist you if you believe in yourself. See, self-care shows a reflection of self-love. Self-care is the core of who you are. When you care for this being, this mentality, there might be a person out there that might not be caring about themselves today. When you believe who you are inside, that's when you start to manifest. And that's what separates you from other people. You're all gifts. You're all beautiful. You all have talents. You all have parts of yourself that go beyond challenge. It's just asking yourself what it means to be an inspiration within this universe, this life path. What a blessing it is that we have this life. The very breath within our being. I just want you all to become inspired from the reflection of discipline within you. I just want to say to you all, blessings, blessings, blessings. I'm so grateful for everyone that's been a part of my life path journey. And